Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week we are making some deliciously herby meatballs with a simple tomato sauce. Now, as always, there will be a full list of the ingredients required in the description below the video. Now, for the meatballs, all you will need is 500 grams of beef mince, or if you can find it, 50-50 beef and pork mince, 2 medium eggs, 4 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, 2 to 4 teaspoons of mixed herbs. Now you can use fresh or dried. I chose to use some fresh parsley and some oregano. 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, depending on your preference. Some vegetable oil for frying, and of course some salt and pepper for seasoning. Now I want to start by simply adding all of the meatball ingredients to a large bowl. Now, if you are using fresh herbs, you can simply just use some scissors to roughly cut them up instead of dirtying a chopping board. If you are not a fan of handling raw meat, you can always put on some protection. By which, of course, I mean some gloves. And if that's still not your thing, you can simply use some kitchen utensils, but for best results you want to do this by hand. Now once again, if you don't like to handle raw meat, you can use an ice cream scoop to portion and shape the meatballs. This is good as it keeps them all mostly the same size and they're all pretty much shaped into balls in the process. Now if you don't mind getting stuck into the meaty goodness, just grab a chunk of the meaty mass and shape it into balls. Now the way I normally do this is to squeeze some of the mix in my hand, letting any excess out through the gap between my thumb and index finger. Kinda like a meaty Play-Doh fun factory. And then simply use your other fingers on your hand to shape into a ball. Now this way you can control the size of your meatballs and you still have one clean hand to move things around that you don't want contaminated with raw meat. Now once you have shaped all of the meat into balls, now you have multiple choices here to cook them. Now you can put them in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes until cooked through and browned. You can add them to a frying pan and cook for around about 8 minutes, or the best option, and by far the most delicious option in my opinion, is using a large saucepan. Now the reason why I recommend using the large saucepan is once your meatballs are cooked, you can use it for the sauce as well, and by using it for the sauce you get all of that delicious meaty fond off the bottom of the pan as well, which adds to the flavour of your sauce. Now if you are going to cook by pan, simply add some oil to the pan and place the meatballs in, making sure they can all fit. Now if they don't all fit, it is fine to cook these in batches as we will be taking them out of the pan for the sauce later on anyway. Now if you are cooking them in the pan, you want to cook them for around about 8 minutes, turning or shaking the pan and get some colour on all of the sides, and then, as I said earlier, remove from the pan once cooked. Now at this point you want to start your spaghetti cooking, and optionally you can make a garlic baguette. Now I just brought a part baked ciabatta and sliced it diagonally, and then mixed in a few crushed garlic cloves with some butter and parsley and just brushed that between the slices, and then a little bit over the top as well. And then wrap it in foil and bake for 12 to 15 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. And now for your tomato sauce. All you will need for this is 2 400-gram tins of chopped tomatoes, some mixed herbs. Now for this I went for some more oregano, a dash of basil and some sage. And then 2 garlic cloves crushed and minced, and 1 to 2 onions depending on the size. Now simply if you use the pan to make your meatballs in, just pour the tomatoes into the saucepan and then you can use a wooden cooking utensil just to scrape that delicious fond off the bottom of the pan. And then add in your garlic and onion and give a good mix and cook until the onion has slightly softened. Then simply pour your meatballs back in, turn the heat to low and mix to coat all of the meatballs and to heat them through. Now, as you can see from this beautiful cross section, when the camera's autofocus decides to actually show the meatball, there is a nice moist texture to the inside, and you can see some nice good chunks of fresh herbs inside as well. Now, once your spaghetti is cooked and your bread is done, simply remove from the heat and serve. Now, you can optionally top this with some cheese or some extra fresh herbs if you do wish. And there you have it, some nice herby meatballs in a simple yet delicious sauce and some extra garlic bread as well. Now, as always, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, let me know with a like and comment down below. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe. You get free weekly cooking content and possibly access to a project I'm working on in the future. And I hope to see you all again next time. Thanks for watching. Now, if you don't mind getting stuck into the meaty goodness, just grab a chunk of the meaty mass. Oh dear. Oh, right. Why did I write the script like this? Now, if you don't mind getting stuck into the... Fuck's sake. Whew.